Okay, let's unpack this. In a world where your Airbnb host can apparently manifest a cracked coffee table out of thin air, or, some readily available AI software, what even is reality anymore? Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we're pulling back the digital curtain on an absolutely wild ride into online deception.
Yeah, today we're dissecting a prime example of what happens when the pure concept of evidence meets cheap AI and, well, a superhost with a vivid imagination. It's a look at how readily human behavior exploits new tech.
I mean, how did Airbnb's own system, maybe designed for ease and trust, kind of become complicit in this? Because here's the setup. You're a London academic, right? You book a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. 2.5 months, sounds pretty idyllic, except our guest felt unsafe, so she left early. Which apparently is a big no-no in some superhost rule books. Those hosts with the top ratings.
And this is where it gets, well, really unsettling. Shortly after she left, the host hits her with a claim for over £12,000 worth of damage. We're not talking about like a scuffed floorboard here. We're talking allegedly urine-stained mattress, damaged robot vacuum, sofa, microwave, TV, air conditioner, and specifically a shattered coffee table. It's like a full-on disaster movie, supposedly, except the twist is cheap software, not Godzilla.
And the truly shocking part, the host actually submitted pictures to back up these wild allegations, claiming the coffee table was completely shattered. But our guest, she insisted she left the place spotless, pristine condition, only 2 visitors during her, 7-week stay? And when she looked closely at the evidence, well, it just didn't add up. How could anyone believe this stuff?
Well, what's fascinating here is how quickly the truth kind of unraveled with just basic scrutiny. A close look at 2 pictures of that same coffee table revealed clear differences in the damage pattern, which pointed directly to digital manipulation, or as our source suggests, maybe even AI generation. It's a whole new frontier for fraud when your evidence can be just conjured up with a few clicks,
Right, so the obvious question then is, how did Airbnb initially handle this? Because, get this, they actually told her she'd have to reimburse the host over £5,300 after their careful review. So despite these obvious visual discrepancies, she was almost on the hook for someone else's, digital fantasy damage. She appealed, of course, pushed back hard, even offered an eyewitness. Makes you wonder what kind of careful review they were actually doing.
And that's the crucial moment, really. She pointed out that these inconsistencies, they just aren't possible in genuine, unedited photos of the same thing. That should have been a massive red flag, right? Should have discredited the host immediately. But Airbnb initially failed to identify this manipulation, ignored her explanations. And this isn't just an isolated Airbnb thing, it's a growing challenge. Anywhere claims rely on visual evidence. It actually took the Guardian money raising questions for Airbnb to finally accept her appeal. They removed the bad review, refunded the full £4,200 she'd paid.
Wow. So it took media pressure for a major platform to spot what was essentially a digitally forged claim. And a security expert quoted in our sources highlighted that manipulating images, videos, it's easier than ever now. The software is cheap, it's everywhere, it takes little skill. We're seeing insurance companies finding similar increases in false claims cars, home repairs using doctored photos. You just wonder how many other claims, maybe less outrageous ones, slip through without that external spotlight.
It signals a profound shift. Many companies are now realizing that images, well, you just can't take them at face value anymore in disputes. There's a growing need for forensic tools, for fraud intelligence models, just to validate what you're actually seeing. And the fact that this guy was a superhost, supposedly experienced, highly rated, that makes it even more concerning, doesn't it? Airbnb warned him, sure, told him he'd be removed if there was another report, but that initial platform trust, clearly exploited.
So this deep dive really shows us that seeing is no longer believing when it comes to online claims, especially when a few clicks can create a whole new reality of urine-stained mattresses and busted robot vacuums. The absurdity just writes itself.
It really does, and this makes you wonder, if even superhosts are dabbling in AI-generated fraud and these big platforms initially miss it, how do you, the everyday user, navigate a digital landscape where the truth is increasingly up for digital manipulation? It signals a new archetype, the AI-powered scammer, and a fundamental shift in how we have to approach trust online.
Definitely something to mull over as you scroll. Is that perfect picture on your feed genuine, or are we all just living in someone else's AI-generated fever dream?